What do you want to be when you grow up? That is a question that all of us have faced at some moment when we were children. Our parents, our friends' parents, they all wanted to know, what are we thinking about the future? And you might have said, I want to be an astronaut. I want to be a politician. I want to be a policeman. So many different activities. However, we forget one thing, that the only thing that is constant is change. So today, thanks to technology, thanks to science, the progress there, we know that many of these roles are no longer valid. There are so many new roles coming up thanks to this advancement. Some of them, for instance, something that we never thought about. Did you ever dream of becoming a big data analyst? What about, do you think about becoming a search engine optimization assistant? So many new roles that were created by technology. So I stopped asking this question to my children. Instead, I encouraged them to think, putting themselves in the shoes of great innovators, great inventors, like the Wright brothers, like Bill Gates, like Chang Yiming, like Elon Musk. People who actually created whole industries, and in the process, developed a new range of new jobs. Companies like Samsung, TSMC, for example, they are investing hundreds of billions of dollars in building, expanding production of semiconductors all over, in Europe, in Japan, and so on. Why? Because they realize they wouldn't like to be faced with the same problem again. Semiconductors are everywhere. So if we're not able to provide this oil to our people, we will run into another range of trouble. That's not what they are doing. Of course, we sometimes forget about Moore's Law. Gordon Moore, he's a co-founder of Intel, more than 50 years ago, came out with this concept that every 18 months, we would be able to comprise the space that semiconductors components need in a chip. And that rule actually worked. For the last 50 years, every 18 months, companies were able to compress the space taken by these components. That actually led to the deployment of silicon semiconductors in many, many devices. However, now we have an issue. We cannot be in that process forever. At some moment, when you think about compressing these components, we get into the atom level. And at that level, the elements of nature don't work in the same way. If I drop this element on the floor, this element is going to follow Newtonian mechanics. That's no longer the case at the micro level. And that's a totally different game. So I wonder, the big investment that many of these companies are now implementing for semiconductors, will they still be valid in the new age when we're going to think about quantum computers? A few months ago, many places in the world were faced with dramatic rainfalls, flooding, from China to Germany, from the US to India. Hundreds of people perished, unfortunately, due to these nature incidents. Climate change is happening. So how we are not able to predict the scale of these events, even though today supercomputers are predicting the weather? Because weather prediction is a very complicated task. It's not something that can be even managed exactly, precisely with supercomputers. That's where quantum computer enters into the picture. Because this type of prediction is so complicated, the number of variables changes so fast, that quantum computers become perfect for this task. And that is the message that I want to give you today. If you think about this review of technologies and you think about where the future is going to go, I predict that quantum computing is going to be the most relevant technology in the next 10 years. And that's where most of the investment will have to be followed through. So if those investments in semiconductors today are worth, hopefully this will be also leveraged in the next stage of development for quantum computers. Many companies around the world are working on these technologies, in China, in America, in Europe. But still, we are far away from the end goal. If you think about the progression of quantum computers, we are probably in the 40s when you think about traditional computers. And if you remember well, in the 40s, 1940s, a computer would take all this space. When the computer was turned on, the lights in the city will flicker. And that's where we are today when you think about quantum computers. However, the benefits will be also very significant. So quantum computing becomes key because most of the victims of these incidents, rainfalls, flooding, happen to be the humblest people on earth. They are the ones who live on basements, who are working, who are going to work every day, who have to go to work. And that's not what we decide. This is not what we would like to see. We would like to see benefits for everybody. We would like to see technology impacting positively the lives of everybody. And I believe quantum computing is in the path to provide benefits, clear, tangible benefits for everybody in society. That's the message I want to give you today. Thank you very much.